Is Hillary Clinton itching for a rematch? President Trump attacking Clinton on Twitter over her emails and taunting her to enter the 2020 race. Clinton firing right back, saying, "Don't tempt me, do your job." But Hillary's just joking, right? Well, maybe not. Take a look.
You know, it truly is remarkable how obsessed he remains with me. Nothing has been more examined and looked at than my emails. We all know that. So he's either lying or delusional or both. Maybe there does need to be a rematch. I mean, obviously, I can beat him again.
Whoa. All right, Greg, here we go again.
I can beat him again. I mean, that's not an obsession. That is a delusion that one holds to keep out the reality. And I don't blame her. I mean, she's probably had to say these kind of things being married to a man who's bedded more women than my pillow. By the way, you know, she's not immune to this Ukraine stuff. If she enters this picture, that's going to stain her as well.
What do you think about do you think that she just does it? You know, she's on a book tour, so it doesn't hurt to have a little attention.
Yeah. She's like a celebrity stalker. You know, you're going to find her outside the White House at midnight telling the Secret Service, "If you just let me in, I can talk to him. He wants to talk to me." But I think right now she's still going back to the emails and says everything was examined, except for the 33,000 that she acid washed. Could you imagine if Schiff subpoenas Trump for one of his emails, just one, and he acid washes just one, and then says it was about golf? Could you imagine what the reaction would be? And she did that to 33,000. It's a huge, huge double standard. Then lastly, if she does get in, here's what she's looking at. She's looking at Joe, who looks like toast right now. She's looking at Bernie, who now has to coast because of his health. Her only opponent is Liz Warren. And she's got to say to herself, guys, look at this. I beat Trump in the popular vote. I outraised him. I outdebated him. I can beat him again if I just go to Wisconsin. And I promise I will put Liz Warren on the ticket and I will put Bernie in the cabinet. Let's have a rematch. And that's convincing to some Democrats. I
don't know. We have a second topic we want to get to, so we'll just get a quick hit on this one from you.
Well, I think this is a wonderful GOP fantasy. She's the whipping boy. How long has she been demonized by Republicans? So she makes a silly comment, you know, again, I think to gin up publicity.
At least she didn't call anybody deplorables.
Demonized for her own wrongdoing. She did she lied repeatedly.
Okay. I don't buy it. I mean, to me, Trump is obsessed with her because she beat him in the popular vote. He's always saying,
he's in the Oval Office.
He's in the White House.
He's upset with the popular vote. That's why he says, "Oh no, my voters, there were illegal aliens voting."
If she had beaten him, she would be in the Oval Office.
Yes.
Okay, we have a second topic. Susan Rice calling out Hillary Clinton and the Obama administration for making her push untrue talking points after the Benghazi attack. Do you remember this?
It began spontaneously in Benghazi, was in fact initially a spontaneous reaction. What sparked the recent violence was the airing on the internet of a very hateful, very offensive video.
In a new book, Rice recalls a conversation she had with her mom about Clinton, quote, "Why do you have to go on the shows? Where is Hillary?" "Well, I think that Hillary is wiped after a brutal week," I said. "She was unrelenting. I smell a rat. This is not a good idea. Can't you get out of it?" Hillary was nowhere to be seen. And we talked about this a lot. We always wonder what happened. Why did Susan Rice have to go out there and say that?
Yeah, I remember it as if it was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But the thing that it brings up a comparison that I've said before. There's so many people back then that were laughing about Benghazi who are wetting their pants over the Ukrainian phone call. Mm-hmm. There's no comparison. 4 Americans
died. That's a really
died.
good point. We talked about it, 4 years ago.
4 years ago, I was out in the streets, Dana.
And what did people think about this?
I was saying, what do you think about Benghazi? And they used to say, "Who's Mr. Ghazi?"
Who's Mr. Ghazi?
And they had no idea. No, she was the patsy, and they left her holding the bag, and they had to cover up for the fact that there was a terror attack 2 months before the election after they had campaigned on defeating al-Qaeda. And the truth is that the administration didn't protect their ambassador on the anniversary of 9/11 in a country they had just toppled after a year of security requests. So they blamed a video guy when it was actually their fault. And we still don't know what really happened because did they fight some subpoenas? Oh. I think they fought a few subpoenas back then.
You know, this is incredible. Imagine, I don't think there have been any investigations. I don't think anybody had to go up to Capitol and testify. I don't think Republicans wore this out. And Jesse still doesn't
But it's
know.
pretty interesting. Well, I'll just go to Jedediah since for time. You know, all these years later, Now Susan Rice is basically saying, I took the fall for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
On the day that Hillary Clinton puts a little chum in the water about running in 2020.
Right. I mean, in there she's saying, well, I don't think Hillary set me up, although my mom did. You know, she throws that little caveat
Listen to your
in.
mom.
But obviously, yeah, they put her out there front and center. She didn't have the right story, and it really derailed her whole career. I mean, any aspiration she had from that point on, it was destroyed. She was completely destroyed in the media, universally pretty much on both sides at one point. And Hillary Clinton had to do it because she didn't want to take the fall for that. She had already been perceived as a liar. I know you don't think so, but on many issues, including her emails. And that would have been over for her. So they said, who could we throw out there? Hillary's busy getting a mani-pedi. Can you go out there and do this for her?
Yeah, she was exhausted after a brutal week.
Yeah.